the soil is going to give you Chardonnay, then you don't want to try growing Cabernet.
Amen. Right? You got to work with what you've been given. Work with what is kind of pronounced on the property.
I'm with Chef Todd Fisher of Tarpey's Roadhouse.
Correct.
The most popular chef in all of Monterey. I've seen it in the papers. You're the guy. I ate at your restaurant last night.
Yes,
Loved
thank
it.
you.
What a great menu.
Appreciate
Fabulous.
it very much.
And I know you're going to make something fun for us, so why don't you tell us what you're going to do?
Well, we're going to do a whole roasted striped bass. It's local striped bass from here in the Monterey Bay area, Pacific Ocean area. We're going to do it in the Vesuvio oven, which is this bad boy behind us. This thing is gorgeous. And that's, I think, often the misconception with the wood-burning ovens is that they're pizza ovens, and they're not. They're wood-burning ovens.
Exactly.
And so you can do a lot of things in it. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and actually just run a blade right through our bass, just kind of, and trying to cut into it without getting too far into the bone.
Just kind of breaking the
Yeah.
skin and into the flesh. It's
Exactly.
kind of like scoring a loaf of bread.
Exactly, and it's going to give us the ability also to get some flavor in there. So
Yeah.
we're going to flip our board over so we don't have the fish on there. We're going to take a couple of cloves of garlic and really just smash those.
Great.
And start to chop that and make a bit of a paste. We're going to do that. We're going to do a little bit of scallion or green onion.
Sweet.
So we're going to almost do like kind of a little salata verde with a little capers now
Some
in there.
capers flavor,
Yeah.
okay.
So we do a little bit of oil right into it and a little bit of salt.
Wow.
That'll help create kind of our
Some
paste.
serious salt, yeah. But you need the salt to get
You do.
to bring out the flavor.
You got the caper in there. And the other thing it's going to do, it's actually going to draw out some of the moisture content of the onion and the garlic so that it'll start kind of, again, flavoring the fish for us. So you can see I'm just going to kind of push some of that down into those scores that we made.
Do you have relationships with your vendors, and do you know where it's coming from and who
We do. I mean, this literally came from Sal, my fisherman who went out and I kind of told him what I needed. I needed whole fish. And he literally called me. He goes, "Chef, this is what I got.
This is what's
I
happening."
didn't get any bites on any red snapper or any cod, anything smaller. You got to work with what you've been given. Work with what is kind of pronounced on the property.
And what nature's
And so I'm just going to
provided,
take one scallion to throw right in the center, just so we're kind of perfuming that cavity. That's where the guts were. So you want to make sure you don't leave that to be in there and get a little extra flavor in there.
We love these Lodge cast iron
Yeah,
pans.
we're so thankful
we're
that
using
they-
them all throughout the
they provided it
expo.
to us,
Yeah,
So
and,
we do a
and I
little
love
more-
this giant one.
A little more oil into the pan, and you can see already it's starting to get to that
Smoking up a little, yeah.
Because that pan is hot. And set that in there.
Nice,
And again, maybe even go this way so we get a little,
even better.
yeah. And then we're going to start that in the oven.
By the way, this fish, I'm looking at the eyes of this fish, pretty clear-eyed
Not
fish.
exactly.
This must have been just caught recently.
Just
huh?
came in this morning. I actually waited before I came down for the fish to come in. So we're going to slide that, and I apologize for my head in there. And we're really going to slide it all the way to the back, right where we've got the fire
where
built.
the heat is, yeah.
So before we got started, I shot the temperature of the oven, and it was about 950 off the wall.
Wow.
And about 680 off of the
On the
deck.
deck.
So meanwhile, we're going to take a few grape tomatoes, as well as some Castelevetrano olives. That's a California olive, and some marble potatoes, some little marble potatoes. That's kind of the next addition to our recipe. As well as I pulled some green tomatoes right out of our garden.
Nice.
I love the concept of using the vine-ripe tomatoes as well as vine-unripe tomatoes.
So what are you going to do with all these?
Well, I'm going
units
to check on the fish for a second because I hear
coming out of the oven?
So you can see how the fish is actually starting to blister on that outside there. You can see how the skin is kind of tightening up and around the spine, the spikes on top. I mean, that is one bad-looking mamma jamma right there. So now that I brought the heat back up after showing it, I'm going to pull it back out. We'll go with the potatoes.
So these are
first.
like little new potatoes.
Yeah, they are. They're little what we call marble potatoes.
Okay.
We got those in there. We're going to go with a little bit of the Castelevetrano olives,
Castelevetrano olives.
a little bit of those grape cherry tomatoes.
Okay, we've got some green tomatoes.
Yeah, so we're going to just put those in as well. And what's nice about this, sometimes when I use the green tomatoes, I'll put them in after the fact to keep their texture. In this particular case, I think they're going to burst and kind of be a nice, again, they'll flavor, they'll add a little moisture, it'll be a magnificent treat.
And they'll throw a totally contrasting flavor to the other ripe tomatoes.
Exactly. So we're going with a little bit of the capers.
Some more capers.
Because no one ever said there was enough olive oil.
Right.
Ever. A little more olive oil.
Beautiful.
And Now we'll put that back in. Let it turn its back on us. And slide it right back in to the base of that fire.
What else would you serve with this meal?
Well, you've really got everything in there. I mean, you don't need to add anything in particular. You've already got your starch in your potatoes. You've got your vegetable, if you will,
Right.
in the tomato. We talked about doing some roasted artichokes along with it, which would have been nice.
Yeah.
Again, a local ingredient for us. The other thing that would be nice, this is a nice bowl of greens, a little bit of lemon and olive oil.
Yeah.
Something simple, just because you've got so much flavor in that pan. So we're just about ready to pull.
Wow.
We'll give it another couple of minutes. But you can hear all those ingredients. You can hear the tomatoes literally sizzling on the pan. The capers are kind of starting to burst with flavor. So we're pretty close. So this looks magnificent. You can see how the tomatoes have kind of blistered in there. The potatoes are toasted and got a nice roasty flavor to them. The fish is absolutely magnificent looking.
Do you need to leave it there for any kind of carryover cooking, or do you like to deal with it?
Probably want to give it a couple of minutes. Also, just the pan is so incredibly hot right now. Now it's still clinging to the bones, just like when you smoke ribs or anything like that. It's really the muscle's tight because it's in a hot oven, and so it's kind of clinging to the bones. As it rests, it'll kind of relax and fall off the bones. Yeah. The only thing we really didn't do there is pepper the vegetables, and so I'm going to go with a little bit of cracked pepper over it now.
And doing it at the end
the
instead of early, yeah.
Yeah, and so it doesn't become the overwhelming flavor. On this back side here, you can actually see, because of the scores we put into it, you can actually see where the fish is cooked through. So again, now we're just going to kind of take the knife right along the bone there.
Following the spine?
Yep, almost like you would when you're filleting it.
Uh-huh.
Kind of coming in
And can you
like that.
tell as you're cutting, can you feel the doneness of it?
Yeah, it feels like there might be still a little bit of medium rare in there, which I'm okay with. I'm looking for a little bit of that opaque.
Because if you had to, you could eat this raw and be okay.
Exactly. You know, one of the nice pieces to the puzzle is that it's not overcooked. It's still kind of moist. Obviously, this backside here, as we come off.
And what do you call this dish?
This is just the whole roasted striped bass with the grape tomatoes, new potatoes, and Castelevetrano olives.
What we'll do is we'll let Chef Todd do some pull some portions out for people to try,
Yeah.
and then we're going to let you have it. Chef Todd Fisher from Tarpey's Roadhouse in Monterey, California, the most popular chef in Monterey. I read that. That's true. I didn't make that up. Thanks, Chef.
Thank you.